We now move on to the next module of the summit, which is a fireside chat on roads to digital highways, vision and plan for use of technology. And in this module, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have deeper understanding in the importance of smart roads as an essential platform for mobility, innovation plans and investment, the new age technologies and the benefits. And for this fireside chat, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite our distinguished moderator, Mr. Atul Bhobe, Managing Director, TRF Engineering. He has more than 35 years of rich experience in the field of bridge and structural engineering consultancy, and as member of various IRC committees, he is instrumental in regular updates being made to the IRC codes. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
I invite eminent panelists, Mr. R.K. Pandey, Member Projects, NHAI, and he's responsible for the completion of the remaining NHTP Phase 3 to Phase 4 projects and was given major responsibilities for Bharat Mala projects of 65,000 kilometers of national highway network. A warm welcome to you, sir. Inviting Mr. Ajay Hans, MD and CEO, Welspun Enterprises, has diverse industry and cross-functional experience of more than 29 years in engineering, procurement, construction on various national and international projects. A warm welcome to you, sir. I invite our eminent speaker, Mr. Hardik Agrawal, Director, Dineshchandra R. Agrawal Infracon Private Limited. He is a young and dynamic business leader actively participating in execution of various infrastructure projects. A warm welcome to you. And also inviting our eminent panelist, Mr. Satish Pandey, who's Principal Scientist, CRRI, CSRI, whom we already heard and had that wonderful video presentation from. His experience in research for over 14 years and is associated with development of new technologies and cost-effective minerals for construction, maintenance, and rehabilitation of bituminous pavements. And ladies and gentlemen, with those words of introduction, I hand over to our distinguished moderator, Mr. Atul Bhobe, to kindly carry forward the proceedings of this fireside chat. And may I remind you, sir, you have about 30 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you. So welcome to the distinguished panel of speakers that we have for the evening. And a warm welcome to all of you to this fireside chat, as it is called. Although there's no fireside here, but okay. It's called a fireside chat. So anyway, just to introduce you to the topic of discussion that's been given to us is to see new age technology and the benefits that it's going to bring to the infrastructure sector. And of course, the panel to discuss it is extremely distinguished. We have two contractors, one scientist, one engineer from the authority, heading the authority, and I'm a consulting engineer. So I think we have an ensemble cast, as they call it, to discuss this particular topic. So without any further ado, let's get going with the discussion. So one of the first things that I would put to the panel to sort of respond is their take on the fact about, are we really open to adoption to new age tech? In my opinion, a lot of times what happens in the industry is that for every new technology that comes to the market, it moves through three different words in English. It starts with an invention. You talk about any technology, even if it's reinforced concrete, rebar, tar steel, stainless steel, micro concrete, any technology. It starts with an invention. Then it moves to the next step, which I call imitation. There's a very thin dividing line between the invention and imitation, because the moment you invent something, everybody wants to imitate it and wants to apply it to on ground, and so you start with an imitation. And when you get comfortable with an imitation, you move to innovation, because you want to improve on that imitation. And that creates innovation. So the question is that, are we really in between the words of imitation and innovation? Or are we ready to accept innovation? Sir, can we begin with you?
Good evening, everyone. This point is always debated, whether we are open to new technology, how we are introducing new technology. Yes, of course, when I'll see from the point of view of the government, Very difficult, because whenever you talk about new technology, it will be a kind of product developed by someone, and it's a monopolistic product. As a authority, I can't specify a monopolistic product saying that I need this kind of product. This was the limitation. We thought over it. Now what we did is we have modified our way of procurement. We are not asking how to do or how to build a road. Rather, I am asking, I am looking for this kind of road, and this is the performance. Here, the private sector can use any kind of innovation. Full liberty has been given to them. And to that extent, I feel we are successful in the sense, yes, go to any kind of, say, for example, high performance concrete. We have started using it. You see any kind of technology. Cement treated base has come up very well. Now invariably in all the projects you will find cement treated base sub-base, which was used to be a kind of new technology 5 years back. Today it is a traditional way of doing things. It is not only these two, even different type of bitumen, different type of modifier, different type of concrete, it's all being used. Of course, when we start using innovative products, there are issues many a times. The authority engineer, they have some kind of apprehension about the performance. Whenever we talk about new product, particularly for the road, it is not the quality today. We are bothered about the quality 15 years ahead. So that kind of situation, yes, they can refer it to us, and we have a system in the NHAI, built-in system, wherein we approve or disapprove those kind of product. Recently, we have, in one of the project, we have approved use of a stabilizer, by which the thickness of the pavement has reduced to half. So we are open. We are trying to. There may be, of course, there may be few isolated cases where people might have find it difficult to introduce new technology.
Thank you, sir. And I think under your leadership, NHAI is perhaps one of the most flexible organizations, I think, which is pushing innovation to the extreme. Within its own, of course, within the limitations that you just mentioned. Mr. Hans, would you respond?
Good evening, everybody. The question is very relevant, and as we are all aware, India is today having the largest road networks of almost 59 lakh kilometers in terms of length. And day by day, this road network is increasing, because you know that in sometime in 2010, we were doing almost an average of 10 kilometers a day. And then we have reached to a status of almost 37 kilometers a day sometime in 2021. And now you are all knowing that our Honorable Minister has set up a target of almost doing 60 kilometers a day. So without the use of new age technology, such kind of targets are unimaginable. So for doing this, we have to use technology in almost all the areas, right? At design, construction, automation. So there is no choice. We have to adopt these technologies to have a faster construction, to have a safe construction, and to deliver projects before time, and productivity needs to be increased at all these places. So as far as I'm concerned, I said there is no option available other than to use new technology products in all the areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Hardik, can we have your comments?
A very good evening to everyone, and thanks to Construction World for inviting me over for this panel. Firstly, I'd like to say that the word innovation, it should be categorically broken down, because we are living in an age where we are doing more synthesis or reproduction of something that has been done somewhere in the world once or twice anywhere, and we are reproducing that to cater to the practices and prevalent methods of construction in India. So largely we are doing reproduction. That's also, there's nothing wrong with reproduction, but the spirit of reproduction, the spirit of the original inventor, it's very important to, have that in mind whenever such technologies are being adopted in India. when we talk about using new technology, definitely there is some apprehension. By new technology, I mean new, completely innovative, never before seen methods or technologies. There is always an apprehension in the mind of a EPC contractor or developer to see whether it will last the life or the brunt of a long maintenance contract or a maintenance obligation. Had it been only a very short period, then it would not have been it would have been more easier for a new technology to be adopted by a contractor. But I think it's a very wise decision by the authorities that there is a more conscious call on maintenance or the longevity of the highway asset. So it's important that technologies that come in should also reflect on the long period and the life cycle of the project and the asset. There are many types of innovation. There's innovation in design, there is innovation in construction engineering, and there's innovation in project management. All three have to go hand in hand. It's just innovation in design or innovation in material science is a part of it. But there is much more adaptability that we are seeing nowadays in construction engineering. Companies like us are adopting formwork technologies, methods of construction, which normally are rarely seen in India. So, and we heard in the earlier presentations also, first time in India. So yes, that is coming, and that will slowly bring in more research and development in these engineering sectors, in project management, which will actually lead to innovation in our industry and our R&D sector.
Thanks, Hardik. I love the way you said, let's break it down, and it's more reproduction than anything else. It reminds me about the Hindi film music industry. When R.D. Burman or Bapilleri copies the song, they say it's an inspiration, it's not an imitation. So what you're saying is very similar to that. It's an inspiration, not an imitation. So that's great. Let's hear it from people who are actually inventing the new tech. So from the scientists.
So the discussion has been started with the question of imitation and innovation. So from my point of view, like whether it is an established technology or an innovative technology, it always have an scope of improvement. Now the first question is that why do we need an innovative technology? If there is an established technology, so we call which is the part of a specification, guidelines for long, and there are good construction machinery and skilled manpower available to use them, then despite that, why do we want to new innovative technology? So it is from the point of view, in case, all of us are living in an era of climate change, and where we have to reduce our reliance on natural resources. So sometimes most of the technological adoption is basically driven on cost factor, if this technique can reduce the construction cost, then this technique is good and it should be utilized. Being a representative of a scientific organization who is working in the area of road research for more than 70 years, our perspective is that this is the time we should ponder upon the technology which can reduce the burden on our natural environment, so that we can have a sustainable living in long time. At the same time, the technology which can offer a durable infrastructure rather than the cost is the one of the predominant factor in the adoption of new technology. So in this direction, some of the developed countries is already moving, and the countries like Japan, where there is no good quality natural resources are available, they are adopting those technologies which can reduce the requirement and reliance on natural resources. So nowadays, under the direction of Honorable Minister Road Transport and Highway Nitin Gadkari, India is entering in a new era where there is a good scope has been given to adopt the new materials and technologies under a green initiative to build the different road networks in the country. So that should be the perspective and the objective of the adoption of the technology. That's all from my point of view. Thank you.
Very interesting. Another question. This time I'll start from you and come on to this side, so that there is equitability in the answers that we receive. So what are some of the new materials or new age technologies that CRRI is looking at implementing during the years that are coming in?
So For example, like as per an estimate, the India require 2.2 billion ton natural aggregate every year for the construction and maintenance of vast road network. And this quantity is slated to increase to 3.5 to 4 billion ton. If that much amount of natural aggregate will be required annually merely for road construction activity, then if we will taken into account the rail network and different civil engineering construction activity, there will be a huge demand of natural aggregate. It can't be cope up with the existing natural resources. After some time, we will not have the good quality natural aggregate available with us. So in this direction, the Central Road Research Institute in last decade keep on inventing the alternate materials or possible utilization of industrial waste material which can substitute the natural aggregate utilization in road construction work. In this direction, as you have seen in the previous video, we invented or work out the mechanism to utilize waste steel slag as a road construction aggregate. Besides that, we worked on copper slag, zinc slag, and the red mud also, which can be utilized as a substitute of natural aggregate and good earth in road construction work. Overburden of mining, like this is one of the major waste in open cast mining area. We worked with Tata Steel to develop the possible mechanism to utilize the overburden of coal mines in their mining road network. So in this direction, the CRRI is keep on working. Besides that, we are also developing the alternate way to utilize the municipal solid waste, waste plastic in road construction work, so that the environmental related pollution related issues can be handled. On technological aspects, like we are keep on developing the recycling technology, road recycling technology, so the existing road materials which is lying underneath the road can be reutilized for the reconstruction work. And is recently under a GR Infra project at Varanasi Ring Road in service road section, we get it reutilized 60% reclaimed asphalt pavement material using a rejuvenator developed by CRRI. So these are the possible alternate ways and means through which we can reduce our reliance on virgin aggregate and virgin bitumen. In the similar way, the CND waste utilization can also prove an economical way and means for the construction activity. So in this direction, the CRRIs keep on working, and hopefully we will come up with different technology as per the industry requirement to meet out the demand.
That's wonderful to know. Sustainable development is a key word these days, and so it's important that people like you and organizations like CRRI contribute substantially to it, so that India does become carbon zero in the years to come.
Thank you.
It's very critical. So, how about the contracting industry? Both of you are at the forefront of construction industry. Mr. Pandey has already mentioned the NHAI has thrown the doors open and said that the onus on sort of getting new tech on the ground lies with the EPC contractors. All liberty has been now granted. Do you see the liberty on the ground? Do you see these technologies coming in, helping you reduce cost and time? As Pandey Sahab mentioned, ultimately NHAI can only do so much. They can permit you, but ultimately it's up to you to actually implement. Do you see impediments still? Or are you already implementing such technologies on the ground?
Definitely, the authority has given a very supportive environment for adoption of any new methodology or any new technology, any material science to be adopted for construction. For example, we are seeing that in Delhi, in urban areas at present, we are able to utilize inert material from waste yards, from dump yards, which were huge piles of waste since 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So now they are being treated and they are being utilized as embankment earth and as earth fill for projects in urban areas such as Delhi, where there is a lack of good earth for highway projects. So such measures will definitely cater to sustainable practices as well as utilization of new technology and create room for new jobs as well. Because we've had to put up people who are able to analyze the inert material at the dump yard, at our project site, so quality control was enhanced. And so definitely, by the support of the authority only, something like this is possible. And other than the on-ground or on-field work, what is a very important aspect is innovation in the back end or the project management, the organizational side of construction. So, some systematic and method-driven practices which shall become standard for new companies or upcoming companies. It's important for industry to take note of those as well and keep learning from their peers, because it's very important to learn about forward integration, backward integration, how to manage multiple projects, supply chain management. So innovation is needed in that extent also, and that's authority cannot govern that for any organization, but it is a self-driven and it's a process which a company has to follow on their own. And it's quite important in today's time, in my opinion.
How about you, sir? How about Welspun?
Yeah, I will like to, in fact, divide such use in 4 categories. Like what Agrawal ji said, sustainable. So it has to be sustainable, the design, construction, and then convenience and automation. These are the 4 aspects. And new age tech has to be implemented in all of these 4 areas. If I talk about sustainable, so there are new technologies which are coming where the lifespan of things has to be much more, like we are talking about perpetual payments, which can last for almost 50 years. Then precast panels, which are being used only in congested area today, but it might be a good technology to do faster production later. Then use of fly ash along with the earth for the fill material, as well as using for the concrete manufacturing. So these are going, plus the solar energy being used for various aspects for the highways. So this has to be sustainable, long-term, and environment-friendly. Then coming down to the design side, I mean, lot of things are being developed in the design side. Like BIM is one of the model which is giving us lot of interface before even doing construction. Then lot of other new design packages which have come in, which provide ease and faster. Then coming down to the construction side, also there are a lot of new packages which are being, software packages which have come in, which is helping monitoring on daily basis. The planning and monitoring tools have improved, the dashboards, and the way the whole construction is being done has to be much faster, because we don't have time now. We have to move very fast. And the last one, what is automation and convenience. So we are moving towards the smart highways, where now we are trying to even give away the tolls. It should be automatically tolling. Instead of tolling, your charges should be debited from your linked payment mechanism based on your actual usage of kilometers on the highway. Plus, you have, at the toll station, you have new system where ATMS is there, ITMS is there, where the tolling can be much easier. You can even control the weight of vehicle movement while moving. So there are all the areas, the technologies are being implemented, already under implementation, and there are technological challenges which will always be there, but NHAI is one organization which always support to bring in new technologies into the system, because there are always challenges in all these highways. So NHAI is very supportive. Recently, this instead of using reinforcement steel, there is a suggestion to use fiber reinforcement. We are looking into the possibility of using it, but these are the things which are going to be the future. So that's my take for the time.
Thank you. Finally, I come back to Mr. Pandey in NHAI, because they are the ones who have opened the floodgates, sort of. So I want to know from you, sir, having opened the floodgates, have the floods really started coming in with technologies, or have people flooded you with new technologies, or not yet?
Not yet. My reply to is a kind of mixed reaction. In some cases, yes, of course, we got good response, but not always. In fact, when we introduced BOT, that time our understanding was whatever we could not do it, private sector will come and they'll bring all those kind of efficiencies. But again, there I'll tell you, we have not seen a big kind of change. But at the same time, yes, of course, we have witnessed a lot of changes. And those changes were, in fact, those were the necessities. Today, what is the objective of constructing a road? And which environment I am working? I don't have unlimited resources, so anything which is economical is always preferred. Number two is the speed. As you said, we were building only 10 years back 10 kilometer rate. Today we are 37 and my minister is looking for 40. So what I'll have to think of some technology where I can do speedier construction. Third is durability. When people are paying toll and they'll not expect any kind of interruption. It means least maintenance, whatever you have built, it is built for long. And the fourth important aspect is the environment. Say, for example, when I see my projects and the kind of natural resources I'm using, in one of my projects I'm using 10,000 ton per day aggregate. How long I can sustain this kind of consumption? And my program are very, very large. So anything which meets my all these 4 or 5 requirements is most welcome. And to achieve all those, we are trying to modify whatever system we have. Whatever limitation we felt, we have modified it. Now the other issue which cropped up is about the when we started building good roads, the people's expectations are very high. In fact, when we completed NHTP, a study was published by IIM Kolkata and the Transport TCI. What they concluded is, anyway, we are not endorsing that study, but what they said is, whatever achievement in terms of, whatever we gain in terms of increasing the speed has lost on toll. So it is a fact that whether we have lost that much or not, but it's a fact that toll was a undesirable necessity. And removing toll gate was something. So today people are expecting much more. They don't, they want that their travel should be very smooth and safe. So that is one area where we'll have to take care. And we have started taking. In fact, if I'll see back, there was a time as a highway engineer, I used to feel that building road is my responsibility, that's all. Why should I think something else? But today if you'll see, we started providing ambulances, we are providing cranes, we are providing patrolling vehicles, and that day is also not far because now it is built in my system that I'll have all kind of information available on which I'll capture through the video cameras and through the advanced traffic management system, which will be helping the enforcing agency to enforce the traffic laws. So the whole and ultimate objective is to benefit the society. And anything which is helping me in achieving this is a new technology for me, and we are using it. Satish rightly said that what is cheaper? Cheaper is a product which meets all these requirements. Unfortunately, we don't have mathematical formulation for environmental consideration and all those. But at the same time, there also we have done a lot. There was a time 30 years back when the capital cost used to be the sole criteria. Then we got a lot of material available with us, wherein we know what kind of maintenance required on different type of road. Then we started thinking capital cost plus maintenance cost. Then we got good equation for vehicle operating cost on different type of roads, even in terms of distances. So when we formulated Bharatmala, that time we have also taken into account the vehicle operating cost on different alternatives. So as and when the mathematical formulations are available with us, we'll take care and consider in our decision making. That is what I think.
Sir, when this innovation circular was actually sent out by the ministry, one of the considerations that the private sector had always was that the government system is the one that is an impediment. But it's interesting to hear from you that having opened the floodgates, you're still not receiving that flood. You said that you have a mixed response. And when these two gentlemen mentioned their comments, and also when you mentioned the comment, you said that authority engineer sometimes is the impediment. And both of you mentioned, of course, that you, even if it's a new technology, it has to go through certain qualifying requirements if it were sort of at your end, then the authority engineer's end, and then finally at the authority's end. So do you think enough has been done to get, because like you mentioned, Mr. Hans, if you don't adopt the new tech, you are not going to achieve 40 kilometers per day, come what may. And like Pandey Sahab also mentioned, environment and sustainability of what we are doing is a critical matter altogether. So do you think enough has been done, or do you think more needs to be done?
As far as when I see from our side, I think we have done a lot. But at the same time, it's also a fact, there is a issue in the sense, whenever new technology is to be implemented, and whatever is the way of implementing a project, it is the responsibility of the contractor to maintain for a particular period. That is the defect liability period. To me, many a times it appears that the contracting industry is also apprehensive in adopting the technology. And they have rightly so, because until and unless, everybody has, okay, it has been tested in lab, a pilot study has been done for 2 years, but what will happen for next 15 years? So many a times that kind of issue may be bothering the contracting industry. Perhaps they are in a better position to answer this. But if they have come out with a kind of, innovative solution, we try to see to it, if it is tested anywhere, we allow it. Just a passing reference, Mr. Hans talked about fiber reinforced bar. That document has already been cleared. IRC has already cleared. Of course, they have not allowed in the main structures, but as a for a small structure, for culverts and other, even for the purpose of payment, it has been allowed, and it will once the document is published, it will not be treated as new technology. No need to refer to anyone. It is a technology which can be used.
So I throw the question open to both the contractors as well. Do you think enough has been done from your end, or you think more needs to be done?
No, I would say opportunity is there to do it, but there are always challenges to adopt such technologies. Now, the project schedules have become so challenging, like none of the project is to be executed more than 24 months period of time. So within that time schedule, you have to adopt new technology, you have to look at the sustenance. So that cycle is sometimes gets missed, and then it gets postponed for the next project. So that is one of the challenges. Though NHAI is very open, but still also another part is whenever you adopt new technology, it comes with a price, and that has to be subsidized over a period of time. So that cost is always high. So you have to balance it out when you are competing in such a competitive market. So whether using of that technology, you are able to have that competitive edge. So these are some of the impediments which comes while using new technology.
Final comments from Hardik?
There is definitely a lot more that can be done when it comes to new technology. I mean, it's a boundless term, technology. There are no limits to it. But there are limits to implementation of it in a short span. I think that is the barrier. So, just to sum it up, I will say that, yes, a lot needs to be done. And definitely with the support of, we've ourselves seen one test case. We implemented a technology based on a report by CRRI using inert material, and I think that has been quite successful for us as a model. So we definitely look forward to implementing more technologies with lesser proven large-scale projects. Definitely we will put more effort to it.
So thank you. We have run out of time. I think the organizers have already pushed the red button. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, the audience, for being patient, giving us a patient here.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. So ladies and gentlemen, we can take only one question. Yes, sir. You were the first to raise your hand.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amit Khanna. I'm head of marketing from Safe Express Private Limited, and Safe Express is the leader of supply chain logistics in India. My question is for Mr. Ajay Hans. So how do you see the future of supply chain and logistics in alignment with construction industry for the next 5 years?
As I told, the time schedule is reducing and reducing. So supply chain becomes a very important aspect. And the storage capacities at sites are going to be reduced. So you have to have a very efficient supply chain mechanism. And it's not just the road. Along with the road, you are building wayside amenities, you are building tolls, you are building all kind of other things. So everything has to match up, and you need to have that system where new items, new technologies which needs to come in, the supply chain mechanism of that also needs to be synchronized. So it is going to be a very important aspect when we are having challenging to do these projects much faster with much more better quality, and new products which are coming in, that also needs to be looked into. So supply chain is going to be the key.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. And on that note, I invite Mr. Bhobe to kindly do the honors of presenting a small token of gratitude and appreciation to our eminent panelists. We begin by honoring our distinguished moderator, Mr. Atul Bhobe. Thank you, sir, for wonderfully moderating this session. We present to Mr. R.K. Pandey. Mr. Pandey. Thank you, sir, for the valuable inputs. We present to Mr. Ajay Hans. Thank you, sir, for all the insights we had from you on this topic. To Mr. Hardik Agrawal. Thank you, sir, for your participation on the panel. And to Mr. Satish Pandey. Thank you, sir, for being part of the panel and for the valuable inputs we had from you. Thank you, Mr. Bhobe, for doing the honors. And may I request a panel for a group photograph? Mr. Bhobe, can you kindly join the panel for a group photograph?